Hi and welcome to part 2 of the Millie Bob build. For the past few weeks I've been making myself a list. This is a wood cutting list and this lists all the sizes of the wood that I'm going to need in order to manufacture the Millie Bob. It lists a lot of sheet materials, any doweling that I need and any plywood that I need. What I've done was create this from the plans themselves, and I've allowed myself about a 10 or 20% trim allowance, which is the additional wood that I might need just in case a few bits go wrong, as they inevitably will do. I've bought all of my balsa wood online. If you have a hobby store nearby and you can buy your balsa wood from there, all the better, because then you can actually pick up and feel and look at the wood and make sure that you choose the best pieces. Because I was buying mine online, I bought it in sheets of 36 inches long by 3 inches wide. You can get them in 4 inches wide as well, but what I find is sometimes with the 4-inch sheets you do get some sapwood towards the edge, which makes it quite soft and not so usable. So to play it safe, and because I was buying online, I went for the 3-inch wide. These are 1/4-inch sheets, and I bought a number of those because they make up the primary fuselage and a lot of the control surfaces. The next sheet is a 1/16 sheet. All of the ribs are manufactured out of this, so I've got a big number of those to make off all the individual ribs, and 1 or 2 other components for the fuselage as well, particularly in just kind of infills and filling in underneath the bottom of the fuselage. Now I've also bought a number of strip balsa woods. Now it is possible to make this strip wood out of your actual sheets themselves. You can use a thing called a balsa stripper, and that will allow you to cut each strip out of the sheets itself. I'm being a bit lazy because it was just easier to actually buy them online as individual strips, and I've done the same for the smaller sizes as well. But again, you can make them out of the sheets. I've also bought myself 2 pieces of doweling. The smaller one here is a hardwood dowel, and this goes across the fuselage, and the wings are actually attached to this using elastic bands, so I wanted a good strong hardwood for that. For the push rods, which connect the servos to the control surfaces, I've just found a standard piece of balsa doweling. It's very light, but it's strong enough to actually take the movements of the servo and the loads that the control surface are going to take. I've also bought 2 pieces of wire, metal essentially. This is piano wire. This will form the this will form the undercarriage, and I've also bought a much thinner piece. This will eventually be attached into my pushrod doweling and will connect into the servos themselves. Plywood. A few sheets of plywood also been bought. These are primarily going to be used for the formers. These go across the fuselage and you mount the engine and various other larger components onto these. They're structurally very strong and are very good in the fuselage itself. And I've also bought myself a nice sheet of acetate, and this will form the windows for the Millie Bob. Hunting through some of my old stock, I found myself 2 2-inch wheels, which are perfect size for this airplane. And I've also bought myself these, which are CA hinges. These are hinges that you put in between your flight surfaces, and you soak them with super glue, and they form an extremely strong but flexible control surface hinge mechanism. They're very good. And I've also forked out some money for some wheel collets. These make sure the wheels don't fall off in the middle of flight. So these are all the basic components that I'm going to need. It's set me back approximately 51, 52 UK pounds, which I think is pretty good value given that I'm going to get an entire airplane out of this. So in my next video, I'm hoping to show you some of the tools that I'm going to be using and some of the adhesives that I'm going to be using in order to put all this together. And then we'll start looking at trying to get some of the plans transferred onto this wood, and we can begin cutting. Thank you for watching.